Hey SmugStick, it's everyone, welcome to part 2 of my scenario of what if Super Buu turned good. Previously, Majin Buu won the battle against pure Evil Buu, eating him and becoming this strange, good version of Super Buu. It took a while to convince the Z fighters, but eventually Goku and Vegeta continued to train with him, simply because of how powerful he was, growing stronger together every day, though Goku remained dead and in the Kaioshin realm. That all changed, however, when Beerus appeared, looking for the Super Saiyan God. Buu didn't like him very much, and absorbs Gohan and a few others without asking. Even so, his power wasn't enough, and the warriors had to resort to asking Shenron about the Saiyan God, with the old Kai giving his life so Goku could return to Earth, and allow Vegeta to undergo this Saiyan God ritual. Beerus was ultimately satisfied, and decided not to destroy Earth. Now, Goku and Vegeta eagerly go to Beerus' planet to train, with Beerus and Whis keeping an eye on Super Buu. He was too unpredictable, too strange, but not everything's as it seems, as Sorbet uses the Dragon Balls to revive Frieza. The like goal for this video is 4,000 likes. Let's continue with the story. It's been a few years since Beerus threatened Earth, and ever since then, Goku and Vegeta have been going to his planet to train under Whis' tutelage. Buu ended up going under a deep slumber for a while. Having eaten all those people at once really made him tired. But he finally learned not to absorb people without asking first, a lesson Mr. Satan really tried to instill in him, along with Gohan. But there was a positive to come out of it. It seemed like Buu having absorbed so many people actually did make him a little smarter, so his rampages through Satan's city have become less frequent. Not like the people of Earth really care. They all think this is just a stunt show, and that Mr. Satan hired the great Saiyaman to fight the villain of the week. Whis often asks Buu to come over to Beerus' planet. He's a great asset to help Goku and Vegeta train, without them fighting each other all the time. Plus, they always get a nice meal afterwards. Beerus is still unsure how he feels about the monster, and doesn't really let him come over often. Buu himself prefers to sleep, and this was life. Until sometime later, Buu has continued to live peacefully on Earth. It's fun to eat and play with his friends. Buu is one of the most versatile fighters, despite being eclipsed by the power of the Super Saiyan gods. His training with Goku and the others through the ages has really evolved him greatly. Even so, he does sleep quite often. Whis even likes to bring Buu around as a test for Goku and Vegeta every now and then. Them working together against a near indestructible opponent is a great check-in. Even so, Buu mostly spends time at home. He goes by Gohan's house when Satan is busy, and enjoys playing with Pan, even if he did think she was a loaf of bread once. One of these many times, while Buu was playing video games and Piccolo takes care of Pan, the Z fighters perk up. There was something incoming, a large mass of power which didn't really impress Buu. He didn't think it felt that powerful. Gohan sighed. He had been lacking in training lately, and now he's behind even Buu. He needs to keep his head in the game in case things happen. And things were indeed happening. As the Frieza 4 spaceship landed, the Emperor had been revived. While Gohan and Piccolo discussed what this could be, Buu had already fallen asleep. With Mr. Satan trying to shake him awake, Super Buu just mumbled that you should subscribe, until he finally woke up. Prior to leaving, Bulma asked Buu if he could turn a random rock into a wonderful dessert, so she can try to call down Whis, Vegeta, and the others. Buu refused at first, because he wanted to eat it for himself, but Gohan insisted that he would have a lot more to eat if they won this battle. A city was destroyed, Earth was in trouble. Gohan and Piccolo instantly hurried out there, while Buu's stomach growled. They promised that he would get to eat at some point. Once there, the various fighters arrived. They were glad to see Buu and Gohan. Even if Vegeta and Goku were out there somewhere, at least they had Buu. As Frieza made himself known and the Frieza 4 soldiers rushed out, Buu's stomach continued to growl. Frieza was surprised to see Majin Buu. He was one of the only people his father warned him to never rival. The other was Beerus, but Frieza was sure of his incredible abilities, and he had nothing to worry about, commanding his forces forward. But it was over as soon as it began. The Z fighters were taking down soldiers left and right, but Buu just saw a sea of candy. Rising up to the sky, Majin Buu fired a massive candy beam that covered the entire area. Krillin had to jump out of the way, not the first time, since Buu said he looked like a tasty chestnut. But everyone else was safe, as Buu avoided his friends. All of the Frieza soldiers soldiers dropped to the ground as candy, which Buu instantly began to eat. It was quite disturbing for everyone. But the Z Fighters played it off better than Frieza, who actually looked terrified. Looks like he will have to finish things off quickly. Gohan and the others got into their battle stances, while Buu just continued to eat in the background. Frieza smirked, saying that they've clearly gotten insanely strong ever since their last battles. Gohan is still definitely stronger than in the original, thanks to having dealt with Buu, but he still feels inadequate since he's been slacking off. He burst into Super Saiyan 2, rushing at Frieza. The Emperor is hit, but he strikes back. Frieza had improved to an incredible degree and decided that without his soldiers to take care of the small fry, he will instill fear in them. He will show them his final form. Frieza's power rose, turning into his elegant final state. This caught Buu's attention as he stopped eating and smirked. Now this was interesting. Frieza fires multiple blasts all over the area, hitting some of the Z Fighters, but mainly aiming at Gohan. Piccolo was about to move ahead of him, but Buu would never let someone hurt his good friend Gohan. Buu burst before the blast, his elastic body actually bouncing it back to Frieza's ship. Frieza couldn't believe it, but he was glad to see that at the very least, the blast did hurt Buu, who now had a burning hole in his chest. It recovered, but now Buu was excited. Frieza was actually pretty strong. Buu burst towards Frieza, who's able to fight back fairly even against Buu. The biggest issue here was just how weird the Majin moved. Frieza knew he needed to avoid the antenna beam, but he didn't realize how versatile Buu was, even hitting him back with a pink Kamehameha. This was seriously getting tiresome. He was here for Goku and Vegeta, not for some weird pink monster. He would have to end this in a single blast, as Golden Frieza. The Emperor glowed a vibrant color, slowly peeling to reveal the Super Saiyan-inspired form. The Z Fighters looked terrified. Without Goku nor Vegeta around, there was nothing they could do. But before Frieza declared himself as the victor, a candy beam came bursting his way.
Hey kids, don't go away. We'll be right back.
Hey guys, I hope you are enjoying this video so far. I wanted to thank my channel supporters who get to watch videos like this early. In fact, the next part of this series is up on Patreon early right now. Thanks again for watching, and let's get back to the what if.
And now back to our show.
Frieza tried to slap it out of the way with his tail, but he was instantly transformed into a small chocolate version of himself. The Z Fighters looked at Buu with terrified eyes. Frieza's power seemed like it could have taken them down easily, but Buu defeated him in one shot? They were sure glad he was on their side now. Buu chuckled as he skipped his way onto the cookie, when suddenly it began to glow and rise up. Buu was confused, but the chocolate struck him in the face. The Emperor could still act, even as a cookie. The aura he radiated was incredible, as Buu kept on trying to eat him, only for Frieza to keep on fighting. Buu had no option but to turn him back. Frieza was livid, and he swore to kill Buu. Frieza's power rose. If they didn't get Goku nor Vegeta down there, they would certainly die. But Gohan thought of something. Buu, absorb us! Together, we may be able to still stand a chance against Frieza. The Z Fighters weren't happy about this, but Frieza rose up to the sky with a death ball in his hand. Buu did as told, even trying to absorb Frieza by having a piece of himself blast off, only to get destroyed. Gohan, Piccolo, Krillin, Tien, they were all absorbed, while Roshi stayed behind to make sure someone was out there to get Buu to release them eventually. Buu's power skyrocketed, but not to the exact degree where he could match Frieza. Even so, the death ball was interrupted by a giant Kiko hole. Frieza was hurt by it, before being slammed down to the ground from above by a giant demon wave. Frieza continued to fight, as Buu used up all of his friend's techniques. Plus, now he knew Frieza's own techniques, thanks to Piccolo and Gohan's memory. Buu had a severe advantage, even if his powers didn't quite match Frieza. As he continued to fight, Buu gathered more and more power onto himself, knowing Gohan's plan of getting Goku's attention. The Emperor used everything in his arsenal, culminating in him using another death ball to try and consume Buu whole. Buu didn't have time for the Kiko Ho now, and he tried to push it back. Slowly, he was being consumed, but despite his fury and hunger, deep within Buu he felt a sense of responsibility to Mr. Satan, Gohan, and his friends. He burst his aura one last time, keeping the ball from touching the ground. Just then, a blast came Frieza's way. Vegeta and Goku had arrived. Buu was able to push the sphere back, launching it into space where it exploded. Buu was tired, and in response, he stuffed more of the candy soldiers into his mouth. Goku thanked Buu and the others for their help, but they've got it from here. Even so, Goku was impressed, and Gohan telling Buu to absorb him was very brave, and it put Buu a lot higher than he realized. That, coupled with his strange moves, made Frieza actually struggle, but the real battle was about to begin. Beerus and Whis noticed this too. Surely, if the battle had continued, Buu would have likely won. But he has no horse in this race. Even with the Z fighters inside him, he knows that this is truly Goku's and Vegeta's match. So he resigns to continue eating. But he pays attention to how the battle continues, analyzing Goku and Vegeta's moves, as well as Frieza's, learning from them little by little. Frieza damned the duo, and Buu himself. Meanwhile, the Majin released his friends at Roshi's request. Tien and Piccolo hated it and hoped to never do it again. But Buu did compliment them on their interesting techniques, showing off his own powerful Kiko Ho. It seems like he kept a lot of the techniques for himself. Without sorbet to stop Goku from defeating Frieza, since he was eaten, the fight is a complete wash. Though Vegeta does interrupt it himself to make sure he gets a chance to fight Frieza. But the Emperor is desperate. He can't hope to win under these conditions. As he begs for mercy, Frieza gets ready to take the planet down with him. But Buu, who has been watching the battles while eating from his pile, realizes what's going on. Super Buu needed to act fast. Frieza looks quite tasty in his chocolate form, and didn't want to waste any food. He rushed in and launched the candy beam, turning Frieza into chocolate. But it was too late. Vegeta launched his attack and killed the Emperor. Buu fell to his knees, crying. All he wanted was a little bit more chocolate. He doesn't get anything. He wasn't allowed to absorb people, he couldn't absorb Frieza, and now he doesn't even get his chocolate. He swore that one of these days, he's going to absorb someone really strong, and maybe then he'll finally be satisfied. But he didn't think so. Vegeta cursed the blob for intervening, but Goku was more curious. It did seem like Buu was a little smarter than before. Could it be that because he absorbed Piccolo and the others? Could it be he's actually learning a little? It didn't matter. His martial arts alone were something else. Buu wanted to keep fighting, but Goku and Vegeta said that if he wanted to fight, he'd have to come home to Beerus' planet. Buu decided that instead, he should go take a nap, heading back to Gohan's home. He did, however, mention to Gohan that he could feel so much more power within him than what he had access to. It was just a comment and not made nearly as eloquent, but Gohan took it to heart. Maybe there was further power to reach. Goku and Vegeta rolled their eyes. They did want to fight Buu, but they would force him to go with them to Beerus' planet one day. Buu was just happy that he would get to sleep again, but Beerus and Whis had watched the battles go down. It was clear that Buu was evolving. He had changed a lot ever since Beerus fought him. He was impressive back then, but nothing beyond a curiosity. At this rate, however, he could become quite a foe. So Beerus told Whis that if he wanted to have him over more often, that would be okay, so long as he behaves. Neither Whis nor Beerus are interested in training Buu, but Buu seems to be improving on his own, learning from every fight he has and every match he watches, and that power would come in handy. As from a universe beyond the stars, Beerus' younger brother Champa sets his eyes on Earth. And though you can't depend on Buu for a lot of things, you can't depend on one thing. He's not going to allow you to mess with the place that has the best cake in the universe. But that's all for today's story. What do you think is going to happen next? Who do you want Super Buu to absorb? Be sure to let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And as always, a huge thank you to the patrons of the channel, who get to watch videos like this early, and a few other perks. And a thank you to DemonKing for editing this video. If you want more Dragon Ball content, be sure to check out my full story of what if Piccolo got orange early, and what if Caulifla trained with Goku.